Heroes, one and all, welcome to Owlet Season 3.5. We're here yet again on Silence Channel in the Minors Division for a match between Hyperion and Vote Meme today. I'm Temporal, joined by Florida for what promises to be a cracker top-of-the-table match.
Indeed, the Hyperion has been a complete dominant force down here in the Minors Division, and VNT have been looking strong, being 4-1. And Hyperion, of course, is undefeated currently, not having dropped a single map this entire time. VNT is 4-1 right now, and the big thing to note is VNT Vote Meme has lost recently to Velocity, yes. Yeah, Velocity, and then also Velocity got 3-0'd by Hyperion, while Velocity 3-0'd Vote Meme, so we'll have to see if Vote Meme can overcome the assumption that they are the underdogs.
Indeed, they've got their work cut out for them, but they've got the players they need to perhaps cause an upset. If you go back and look at at least there's one match that Vote Meme has been on stream, they played really well in that match, and they've got some star players. You're looking at the DPS lineup is something you want to talk about. Offensive and Deja Vu are so good. Deja Vu in particular, very flexible. Seen them play on both the Pharah and the Tracer, so both really good tools to use. And it can perhaps throw a little spanner into the works. So Hyperion, you roll out in the Pharah maybe. So you roll out in the Tracer, Hyperion runs something to counter that. Then you just whip out the Pharah and maybe roam around the skies uncontested. So Vote Meme will need to go for something a little more surprising like that if they want to get the best on Hyperion, who have been so solid so far.
Indeed. Being undefeated with again, not dropping a single map that is got to be intimidating coming in for Vote Meme. We should probably go over the rosters here. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the official rosters. So Hyperion looks like they will be rolling out with Oakley, Vati, Stuff and Things, Optic, Plasma, and Lissaru.
Vote Meme today will be starting with Offensive, Deja Vu, Jackson Moon, Keyframe, Kingler, and Wolfpack. And as the match rolls out, Hyperion will be on your left. Vote Meme today will be on your right in their chosen colors.
Indeed. And so as we enter this first map, we will be going to Busan. Busan's kind of a mixed bag of a map. You can see really good dive on downtown. Mecha base lends a little bit more towards the brawly styles. Currently in meta, though, expect to see a lot of double bubble, which is the monkey Zarya here. That just seems to be the meta comp. Though Roadhog, with his recent buffs, has become a lot more meta. So we might also see a strong hog play coming out.
Well, speaking of that double bubble composition, Vote Meme team has run that before, so they know what they're doing when it comes to running this composition. Hyperion, what we've seen from them on broadcast has actually been a more Reinhardt Zarya composition, so maybe a little opening there that if VMT can move around enough, cause enough consternation and confusion in Hyperion that they may not be able to walk away with such a comfortable victory as they've had in the tournament so far.
Indeed, but it's looking like Hyperion's going to come out here on the Roadhog Reinhardt. That is actually not uncommon, especially because Roadhog recently got extremely buffed and is extremely meta in the current moment in time. But also, we're going to see Deja Vu come out on this Tracer with double bubble as well, and this is going to be interesting to see how this works. Brawl should be at a disadvantage here, but the Roadhog neutralizes it a little bit, I think.
Vote Meme will want to be very wary. They're not going to be able to take a stand-up brawl. That is exactly what Hyperion is after. They're waiting up on the high ground, challenging the red team, the right-hand team, to come at them, and Jackson Moon falls afoul of Vati, who follows up a nice flashbang kill onto Deja Vu. Fired a grenade onto a few members of Hyperion, will force them to back off, but with the numbers, they'll be able to take first point control.
Yeah, I feel like Winston's going to be at an extreme disadvantage, especially with the Kree and especially with the Hog. Both of those just shut him down and was just able to melt through both the Bubble and the Winston. And also, aggressive move by Deja Vu just did not quite work out. And here we go, we're pushing in Immortality Field already used.
Hyperion using that big brawly comp in the doorway. Vote Meme team has no choice but to go through them. Jackson gets a kill, but is traded out almost immediately. Oakley falling. Immediately followed by Deja Vu. It's going to be trades either way, and Vati over the top. A fantastic Deadeye. One fight in already with the 3k Deadeyes. Hyperion looking strong early.
Yeah, it was looking pretty good there for Vote Meme. They were able to get the wall off from Deja Vu. Good adaptation and trap a couple of members. And I don't quite remember who went down. But they were able to get off a couple of picks. But those trades and the Winston engaging with the jump kind of cost them the bubble that Vati was able to capitalize on a really strong high noon. Massive anti-nade, but offensive gets Lazaro.
And the Immortality Field keeping everyone alive. They got some ultimates of their own. Offensive pops out with the Deadeye, but gets killed in the middle of it. Oh, clean optic back on the point. Hyperion not willing to give it up without a fight. VMT almost has it captured, but the reinforcements are good. Hyperion holding on for the moment.
That was a really scary fight. I'm surprised how Hyperion was able to turn that around. It looked really leaning one way, especially with losing the Brig, which has a lot of sustain in this composition. But it was mostly Hyperion. I think it was Optic, just being able to stay alive, able to pump in that chip damage, and also able to get out a lot of the Immortality Field and a lot of the resources that allowed them to retake that fight.
Although, Meme, they're going to have to put these ultimates to work in this fight, though. They have to counter an Earthshatter, nicely blocked by the bubble from Jackson Moon. The point flipped over, the Graviton Surge invested, as is the Primal Rage of Jackson. But Optic with their whole hog keeping VMT away. Vati can now go to work, picks up a double. There's a Deadeye off to the side, picks up another two. Blimey, this McCree is on fire right now. Hyperion flipped the point back, and VMT are not going to be able to contest. First point going over to Hyperion.
Yeah, I really feel like Hyperion played that composition beautifully, stuck together as a unit, didn't really try to go on crazy flank angles, played the brawl perfectly, and able to just sustain through whatever VMT threw at them, basically. Just because of the massive health pools and also the large amount of heals coming out from the Brig Ana, was just able to keep everyone up, and I just feel like VMT probably needs to start straying a little bit away from this double bubble, because both the Roadhog and the Kree's flashbang just shuts that down on top of the Reaper that they were running.
That was a great play then. I like seeing what we saw out of Plasma. We noticed it a couple of times. And great bio grenade great bio grenades catching multiple members of VMT, and it's very difficult to block that with the composition you're running. You've got the cleanse coming through from the Zarya, but Winston, once he throws his bubble down, you can't move it. Once you step out, you're suddenly vulnerable.
Yeah, indeed. Double Cowboy coming out here. This map really works well for the Ashe, so I understand why it is, and they can play a more brawly style. Oh, really nice hook coming in from Optic. Yes, it's sorry, but it was an even trade back from Fire Offensive.
Indeed, removing that McCree from the fight is a great start for VMT, though you lose the McCree of your own. Another solid hook's going to see Deja Vu removed, and Hyperion have got the numbers. They'll be able to take first point control again once they clear off the remaining members of VMT.
Yeah, Hyperion's composition can survive losing members just because of the high amount of sustain. However, I feel like VMT's comp is really susceptible if they lose members. If they trade, I feel like Hyperion will always come out on top in those trades just because of that sustain. So we're looking at ultimates-wise, there's only a Shatter really on the board on the side, stuff and things, and we're going to have to see if they even get how much value he gets out of it, but we'll have, but without, I don't know. Anyways, let's, the fight's going in here.
Stuff looking for a shadow opportunity. There it goes. It lays down 5. The hammer swings through, but a keyframe gets one back, removing the Reinhardt from the fight. Following up onto Liss. A Deadeye from Offensive will shut things down. A late Bob enters the fight, but he's run straight across the point, mate. You went too far, Bob. And we'll see the point going over to VMT.
Yeah, I was about to say that was a semi-caster's curse. I was going to say that he wasn't going to get any value out of the Shatter. Then he gets a 4-man Shatter. Thanks a lot, there stuff things. Anyways, but then they decided to commit ultimates when they're down. That's a tough decision to make. But I feel like Hyperion were not expecting it, and I actually really like that play. But Vati gets a pick off, and
the Dead Blossom from Deja Vu gets 3 taken down by the whole hog. And it might be enough, though. Vati has something to say about that. A single player Deadeye onto Wolfpack. We'll see VMT holding on to the point for now, but Jackson, not long for this world. Point flip back in a very back and forward fight, ultimate-wise.
Yeah, that's actually that was a really even trades. But I do think the main reason Hyperion won that fight, they invested a lot of ultimates. They invested High Noon, they invested Nano. I believe they invested the whole Hog as well. So they invested a ton of ultimates there. And meanwhile, VMT invested 1 or 2. But we're able to keep a couple in reserve. Oh, but Oakley picks off offensive early. That's gonna, I think that's gonna shut this down early.
Jackson. Winston not able to jump away in time. This attack on the point is stalled before it even gets started. VMT gonna have to wait the requisite 10 seconds for the respawns.
Yeah, with Roadhog's recent buffs, recent damage buffs, and recent and he's just become so dominant. I don't feel like this Winston's a really good play on the side of VMT. I think they might need to adapt here. But here we go, coming in a fight.
Up is low, stuck in the corner, looking for an opportunity to use the Earth Shatter. He's going to get it. The rally from Liss, keeping the Reinhardt in the fight. Graviton Surge and the Primal Rage and the Amplification Matrix invested by VMT. They're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at this fight. They lose Jackson at the start. Oakley traded out. Dedo on the side, not going to do anything. Oh no, VMT wasn't touching the point. Hyperion seal the deal here on Busan. They take an early lead in this match.
That was a C9. They had a couple of ultimates as well, I think, and I think they were going to be probably able to re-engage onto the point. But yeah, Vati, which is an insane player this series, High Noon's really solidly, and it's also helped out that they were playing mostly Winston, and as soon as that bubble goes down, they have no protection. But I do think right now Hyperion's mainly winning off of both solo plays, but also the team composition is, I feel like, outclassing Vote Meme right now. And we have a 69% kill participation. Nice. We have a bunch of nices across the board. That was a 69 kill participation from Optic on that Roadhog, and that Roadhog was a really critical factor. And yeah, it's just nice across the board. But yeah, really strong showing there, Hyperion. They honestly, there was a little bit more even there on Sanctuary, where it kind of went back and forth a little bit, but I still felt Hyperion was in control for a large majority of this series, or that map.
A large part of that was down to that Roadhog from Optic. We saw at the start of multiple fights, one of the tanks getting hooked in. We saw the keyframe go down a couple of times. Jackson Moon couldn't get away on the Winston, and if you've got a Roadhog putting in that much work and not really being able to be countered properly, it can be very difficult for your team to make an impact. Especially when you're coming into the fights at a 5v6 disadvantage from the start.
Yeah, and also I felt like the backline were just able to outsustain any of the backline of Hyperion. Were just able to outstay anything that Vote Meme threw at them. Just because of that Brig on it, even though Brig recently got nerfed. I do feel like she still puts in a little bit more value, and also helps shuts down that Winston a lot more with the Hog. I just feel like the Winston right now, especially if the opposing team has such a dominant Roadhog, I feel like you need to probably adapt away from that Winston, because I don't know if it's going to work.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. It's Winston as a tank player is a fun tank to play, and a team based around a Winston can be quite difficult to deal with, but Hyperion, their brawl composition is showing exactly why that Goats was such a good composition and other brawl compositions. Once you get in close, it's very difficult to deal with if you're not on a brawl composition of your own, and they're playing it so well. The supports are sticking with the tanks. No one's sitting isolated. No one's essentially baiting themselves out for a dive from Vote Meme. So Hyperion's just stacking the deck in their favor, and it looks like their unbeaten run is set to continue unless Vote Meme can pull something magical out of their hat.
Yeah, another thing I noticed was the Winston. I don't remember who quite was playing the Winston. I think it's Jackson.
Jackson, correct.
Yeah, Jackson. The thing I noticed as well, he was engaging with the jump on Winston, and that's not necessarily the best thing. That's not what you want your Winston to be doing. You don't want to be you don't want the Winston forced to use his jump in a double bubble composition. His jump is mostly supposed to be used just to get out if he gets overpressured or overmelted. But I think Jackson was trying to build up some sort of momentum by engaging in with the jump. And I feel like that might have just put him at a slight disadvantage as well. And so he's just Hyperion. They were just looking almost perfect. Couple small slip ups, but I feel like overall they were just playing extremely solidly.
Indeed, and Vote Meme now has the map pick. Will be selecting an escort map, and the choices are Dorado, Havana, and Watchpoint Gibraltar. Is given what the teams like to be running Vote Meme with the more dive-oriented Hyperion with the brawl, do you think Vote Meme will have a preference as to where they want to take us, say to a Watchpoint Gibraltar?
It looks like we're going to go Dorado. I would have said they should probably have gone Watchpoint Gibraltar just because of the strength of dive and the strength of double bubble on that map. I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit surprised they went Dorado, honestly. I felt like Dorado can play a lot. Dorado is kind of mixed, to be honest. I don't think they would have run Havana because Havana, I know Hyperion full held someone in the past and also is a lot more brawl oriented. But Dorado you can run a double bubble or a dive, and I feel like that's what they want to play. Because I know Deja Vu is a really strong tracer, and obviously Jackson Moon wants to play that Winston. So I'm expecting still double bubble here on Dorado, but we'll have to see. But I feel like Hyperion has just been playing it smart. They're waiting for the engage, absorbing the engage, and then turning it back and reflecting it back. So I feel like this map may actually still favor them just because they're able to play so tight knit to Vote Memes Today's kind of scattered style.
Indeed. Yeah, so it's an interesting choice. So at least the second point on Dorado does lend itself well towards a dive team. You can sit up on the high ground, and if you're running that brawl that Hyperion is, they don't have anyone to challenge. So if you're able on the defense, which Vote Meme today will start on, if they're not able to hold on the first point, they'll be able to set up on that high ground and really choose when they want to engage into Hyperion.
Yeah, and indeed, actually, I think Hyperion's on the defense here, and then Vote Meme will attack.
I'm just trying to think. I might be getting TF2 and
Okay.
Overwatch confused because I know they're reversed. Blue is attack in TF2, which means blue is defense in Overwatch.
Something thank you, production. So something that just got reminded me. Aresh Kigal, I can't pronounce, so I'll just call them Aresh from now on. Has been subbed in for Kingler on the support. I do believe Aresh typically starts over Kingler. I'm not 100% sure on that. So maybe Kingler was just in for a control point. So we'll see if that addition, because sometimes just changing around one person can actually completely change the atmosphere in the team. So maybe this substitution will help them out here.
It also opens up the possibility, perhaps for a pharmacy to come in. I know I've seen Aresh on the Mercy before. That may be her specialty, maybe not. Maybe it's Zenyatta. That is definitely a character I'd like to see come out. I love seeing Zenyatta, and it's a decent counter to the Roadhog. You chuck the Discord Orb on him, all of a sudden Roadhog is just a big fat punching bag who's donating ult charge to the other team. That might be the path the VMT is going down. They know Optic is a giant threat, so why not put as much focus as you can on removing that threat early?
Yeah, so we're gonna see again. Oh well, actually, I think he's going back to the Ash. Yeah, we're gonna see the double cowboy. It's the same comp that they ran on Sanctuary, and I feel like Ash just has such good angles here on the first point and in general. And I do feel like the Brig they're specifically going Brig because they think they're gonna play double bubble. Because I saw Lissa considering the Mercy or considering the Zen, which are good options in this composition, but I think Brig is necessary to help deal with this Winston.
I'm really curious as Vote Meme though. Won't be rolling out on the Bastion. Deja Vu just taunting us with that. But it appears the Pharah is in play. Deja Vu breaking that out for the first time in the match.
Interesting, they're gonna run a Baptiste Ana with a Pharah. I think they're gonna play ground Pharah. No, never mind. Deja Vu is flying. I was gonna say in this, it's not gonna be a lot of heals for that Pharah outside of the Ana's long range healing, and Ana's usually focused on healing her tanks. So we'll have to see as they slow push it underneath the bridge. And this is where the brawl is pretty strong, so we'll see how VMT tries to break this.
Yeah, Hyperion chooses not to take the high ground defense. Why would you if you've got a composition like this? They're quite content to have you come into the choke point. Immortality field invested early, it goes down. Stuff and things takes the opportunity to swing the hammer, build up towards that Earthshatter still there on the corner. That gives some space for the rest of the team to plug in the damage, and it'd be quite difficult for the VMT to take the challenge to Vati or Oakley. The long range hit scan can just sit back well protected by their team. Though the healing from Aresh has been such that the amplification makes it already out offensive, takes advantage of that, removing stuff and things, follows up onto Oakley. So they come through from Optic but not able to capitalize, means the cart inching ever closer to the end of that first point. Offensive has been going absolutely nuts right now. Doesn't need the nano boost. Keyframe is the recipient of that burning down Optic, and that will see Vote Meme today finishing the point A. The cart being barely stopped at all.
Yeah, I think the substitution of Aresh has really come in handy. That Immortality field keeping the Winston alive. And, oh my goodness, but a quick pickoff by Oakley on the Deja Vu. Danger running Merciless Pharah. But also Offensive was just popping off and getting a lot of kills. But T, just as I'm talking good about Offensive, shuts him down. They're already down 2 here, but though Deja Vu is coming back into the fight. And out comes the Bob. Something I was pointing out, Hyperion did invest the Nano late into that fight, and this Bob's not going to get any value, it looks like. So
it's stopping the car. He's this Bob is just stopping the car.
Yeah.
They have to deal with Bobs, so it's burning time.
Yeah, but VMT did have to back off a little bit because they were down offensive, right? So, good, decent flashbang, but so we're coming up on a large ultimate bank. There might be a lot of Qs being clicked, but Vati gets keyframe and a 4-man shatter. 5-man shatter, 5-man shatter.
Follow up. Holy cow, Hyperion knows exactly what they want to do. One ultimate invested, VMT sent packing back to spawn.
Yeah, also, nice decision just to use the ultimates early, and whoever in the game of Overwatch, whoever uses their ultimates the quickest and more proactively typically wins the engagement. So that was really smart of them. And also, nice pickoff by Oakley, being pocketed by the Mercy now. I forgot to mention that Lissa has switched off the Bray onto the Mercy, pocketing the Ashe, and now Ashe has the one-shot potential.
Oh, that's an awesome
But
question.
6 ultimates coming out on the side of VMT right now. There's going to be a lot of Qs being pressed.
They need to make this fight work if they get invested all. The barrage grab combo over the top removes 2 Deadeye on the high ground for Vati. Doesn't get any value, eliminated in the middle of that ultimate offensive, following up onto Plasma. This is the opportunity VMT was looking for. Keyframe gets another nano boost, but no one is willing to stick around. Hyperion giving ground as VMT push the cart forward.
Yeah, quick done and dusted, a barrage window. I will say that Nano may have been extremely unnecessary. Deja Vu dies here to Vati.
Another point into the backline. Gets slept.
Yeah.
Deadeye coming out from offensive. Vati shuts that one down. Neither of the McCrees having any success with that ultimate here on Dorado. And Earthshatter from the side. Stuff and things lays down the remainder of VMT. That's a fight cleanup. The cart stopping just under the bridge on the second point.
Yeah, decent push still by VMT so far. They've been able to keep it consistent. And they're forcing Hyperion to invest ults to win. Though I do say that I think Offensive went on an attempted flank high noon that didn't quite work out. So, and we're looking at McCree Junkrat. Well, no, the McCree has been the same, but the Junkrat swap here coming out from Deja Vu just to help put in a little bit extra chip damage onto the Solitary Rhine Shield and overall spam damage. So, I really like this coming out from DNT, willing to adapt at least and not being stuck, not trying to stay with one composition.
Jackson has to use the bubble just to get VMT up close to the cart. He has pushed back to the gate outside the church, so a little more accessible. Up onto the high ground goes to Winston, putting lots of pressure onto Oakley. List, though, drops off into offensive sightlines. Gets taken down. Now comes the Primal Rage. Jackson Moon clearing so much space for this team. Gets slept, immediately woken, follows up onto Oakley. So that's the Ashe Pharmacy combo gone. Plenty of space being provided by the VMT tanks. And now the counter is on. Optic has a nano boost, plugging away with that scrap gun. Gets trapped, so can't walk forward any further, but the rest of the team there in support. Plasma being resurrected back into the fight. It's going to see VMT making a little bit of progress, but again, they're forced back to spawn.
Yeah, they only invested primal into that, and I actually liked how Jackson played that by jumping the Ash Mercy on the high ground to shut that down quickly and cause a distraction long enough for offensive get the pick off on the Mercy. But Primal also shut down the high noon. I will say that. But Hyperion is looking extremely solid right now because VMT is a couple of these fights they've invested ultimates but gotten really low amounts of progress. They're going to be flanking here on the back. They only have
realized it.
Yeah, they only have 4 ultimates to. They have 4 ultimates to Hyperion's 3. We'll see how this fight unfolds.
They're stuffing things, looking for an Earth Shatter, running around the side. Optic blasting them back with the scrap gun. The Deadeyes trade out 1 for 1. Kills going back and forward for either team. A Graviton Surge captures the front line of Hyperion, but they're able to get away. Vati, the only victim there. Liz onto the high ground, resurrects Oakley. Now the Ash has free reign over the top. And Tyre from Deja Vu cleans up 3. That's the opening VMT needed. They're going to approach the end of the second point. Can they get it done?
Yeah, it's going to be close. Really nice tire by Deja Vu. Also, Vati was able to counter High Noon and make sure he at least...
Not
Vati.
It's there's the Air Shatter for stuff and things. Locks down 1 on the cut. Bob finishes off offensive. Vati into the fight. Picks up 1. Picks up a second. Picks up a third. Vati on fire yet again. Hyperion, the re-engage is perfect. They're holding Vote Meme Team right in front of the second point. 90 meters gained. Hyperion, they know exactly what they need to do to win out this map and move on to match points.
Yeah, I feel like the individual skill from Hyperion is kind of showing up here, because even though VMT wins fights, if they lose 1 or 2 members, Hyperion just comes back in with limited members and just wins the next fight. Because I really thought VMT was going to finish that map with the full cap, but because they traded members in the earlier fight, they were down when Hyperion had a spawn advantage. So, and then of course Vati has just been the most has been rock solid on this McCree, just hitting. He has been extremely consistent on getting kills, and it's been kind of terrifying. It looks like we're going to be seeing double bubble defense here with that pharmacy. Not pharmacy, but just the Pharah. It's really interesting how Deja Vu's been playing a merciless Pharah. That's not something you see often. Oh wait, never mind. I spoke too soon. It looks like Aresh will be going over to the Mercy, finally giving some support to Deja Vu, because Deja Vu has been consistently picked off by the hit scan, and I do believe that's mostly because the Pharah did not have a Mercy pocket.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for Pharah players that you need the Mercy there. It kind of pigeonholes the supports, but that's the name of the game. You can make a huge impact if the other team isn't looking at you, but as soon as they start paying attention, which is something Hyperion, I think, will be doing given they're running double hit scan right now. Deja Vu has the Mercy, but it may still be a struggle.
Yeah, it does. Oh, Oakley's going up for a jump shot, misses it. Okay, so they're going to be slowly pushing the cart. Brawl comp, Vati gets Deja Vu. He's been way too consistent on getting his pick off. It looks like, I'm surprised, I
think get the resurrection, the body went down near the cart.
Yeah, that was not a resable position. Deja Vu's going to go over to the Junkrat here just to help spam, and if they're able to stop inside the stroke, Junkrat has a lot of value, but it's not going to happen with stuff in hands.
The flashbang followed up by the hammer of stuff and things cleans up the Winston. Aresh is down, no resurrections whatsoever coming at the first point. Hyperion walking all over this Vote Meme defense.
Yeah, Vati opening that up with the pick onto the Pharah, and then stuff and things able to aggress with the Brig and on a support. Just aggress and murder that Winston before he had a chance to jump out. So I feel like Hyperion is really good in the neutral fights, and they've been demonstrating that they can win without those ultimates. And most of the times, VMT has been forced to invest ultimates to win fights. So I feel like Hyperion is definitely showing their dominance in ability and skill right now.
And worthy of mention also is that Optic get off the Roadhog onto the Zarya for this Hyperion attack. I think they don't need the Roadhog anymore to deal with Jackson. They've got plenty of tools in the bag. As I say that, Deja Vu takes care of Oakley, the Junkrat. Taking down the Ash. Offensive, the just the regular Deadeye. It's just a distraction that Deja Vu needed. Picks off 3 in a row. That Vote Meme finally stopping the cart, but it's only 45 meters shy of the endpoint.
Yeah, indeed. A good anti-nade, I will say, by Wolfpack, and then Deja Vu was able to just mine on top of the anti-nade and just get 3 off. Also picks off Oakley, who had gone on a long flank around the left-hand side. He completely shuts that down. I feel like
Speaking of
if
flanks,
yeah, speaking of flanks, it looks like the entire Brawl comp is going to be trying to flank. I think they're going to go high ground. Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to play Church here. I'm not 100% sure if you want to do that, especially with a Junkrat into a tight choke window. But I guess you could just rotate it. No, never mind. No, yeah. I guess you could just drop down if you're low. But there's only a Baptiste Junkrat up here, and Bati comes around, flashbang
no.
right click. Oh no. Even with the Immortality Field invested, this is probably a lost fight. Shatter comes out, gets nothing, and gets Plasma on the recome, on the clapback. Both Nanos comes out.
Deja Vu again carrying the day for their team, picking up stuff, follows up onto List. This Junkrat knows no bounds. It looked like when the Pharah wasn't working out, switch to land Pharah. That is always the answer.
Indeed. It was looking losable. That's the first time I think VMT has won a 5v6 fight, and that was a really nice play there from both Jackson and Deja Vu, just being able to keep the spam damage in. I will say, though, that there was a nano on the side of Hyperion that may have been unnecessary. Oh, but an early lamp is used, so that may not be good, especially with this grab coming up from Optic.
Stuff getting aggressive. Graviton on the carts, going to lock down multiple members of Hyperion. The Deadeye, though, in the back, Vati wasn't caught, able to remove the entire tank line for Vote Meme with no protection left. Rest of the members are going to have to back up taking advantage of that offensive. That was a bold Deadeye. In the end, shut down by the bio grenades. The car approaches that victory box. It's all or nothing now for Vote Meme. They got to get back in. Jackson has to use the Primal Rage just to get back from spawn. Keyframe back on the Wrecking Ball. Jackson removed from the fight. 1,000 HP burned down for the Winston. Deja Vu gets one, but it's just a chaos here on the cart. And the Graviton Surge going to be locking in any of the defenders around the cart. Hyperion, the full 60 is there. Stufferthang swinging through with the hammer. We'll see the cart home. Hyperion move on to match point. Their unbeaten run is looking like it's going to remain intact.
Yeah, VMT kind of lost a little bit of target focus there. For their members, just ignore the Reinhardt, who was just sitting in the back, their own backline, swinging on the Ana and the Baptiste, and then was able to pick off basically their entire support line. So that was not the best play there from VMT, though this tire from Deja Vu was really beautiful. But I just feel Hyperion has just been way more consistent and way more superior, especially in neutral fights. And then when the ultimates come out, they're able to get a lot more value. For instance, like offensive, using that Deadeye in the middle of the enemy team. I don't know if that was the best idea. I get that you were running out of time, but I feel like if he had waited a couple of seconds, he could have re-engaged with the Winston that was coming back from spawn. So I just feel like Hyperion has been more consistent in their ultimates. They've been getting maximum value out of the ultimates, and they're not forced to overcommit. And if they do overcommit, they're able to build back up to the ultimates way faster than VMT have been this entire time. So
and you can see that chord. Oh, sorry. We'll see more of what this match has to offer us after halftime. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Don't go away.
you could have probably done your in.
Welcome back, listeners, or viewers, listeners, both to Hyperion versus Vote Meme today. This is a top of the table clash in the minors division. Hyperion is looking set to continue their unbeaten run. They are one map win away, Florida, but Vote Meme today, they can still bring it back. They can reverse sweep and make things really, really interesting for the whole division.
They could. They really could. They really, really could. I do think there is some hope. I feel like Hyperion has just been a lot more consistent on being able to get maximum amount of value and not having to overcommit in the engage or in ultimates. And also, I feel like their composition has just been relatively superior. I do think Deja Vu switching onto the Junkrat was actually a really good idea, and was working out real decently well on Dorado. So I feel like that Junkrat pick shouldn't be that too bad. But going into this next map, an interesting decision. So Vote Meme today as a losing team has map pick, and they've picked King's Row of all maps. Now, I am aware that picking King's Row is an Owlet tradition. However, it's Hyperion, and they've only been playing Brawl this entire series. Why would you go to King's Row?
Well, now we've seen some of the swaps. We've seen some of the swaps coming in, and the War and Peace has been brought in for Jackson. So perhaps War and Peace. I think I saw War and Peace play last season, and he may just well have a Reinhardt. So it could be that Vote Meme are looking to take that Brawl versus Brawl fight, which will likely serve them better than the double bubble they've been running so far.
Indeed. And I do think Warren, as a former player, as a player who's played against Warren, I know Warren is actually Reinhardt. So I feel like they probably are going to lead a little bit more into the Brawl here, especially for King's Row, because let's be honest, King's Row is the Ryan Zarya home. Even when they weren't mad at Ryan Zarya run on this map. So I feel like the substitution specifically made to make adjustments to that.
I will hope it serves them well so far. Over the course of the competition, Hyperion haven't dropped a hybrid map, and they haven't even had to go onto an assault map, given that all their rounds have been 3-0. Vote Meme has had a little more trouble, specifically on King's Row. They have a 2-2 record in the tournament, and both of those wins came in extra time rounds. So they'll be wanting to make sure that they're starting out on attack, so they definitely want to make sure they finish this map. Otherwise, Hyperion is going to be set to clean sweep the match.
Yeah, I feel like they have to have a strong showing early here. If they get stymied on this first point, I don't have much hope for VMT. I don't have much hope here for VMT. We'll have to see, though. And remember, the defense will come out, though. We're on the Assemble Hero screen, and they're showing a lot of troll picks right now. I highly doubt that.
That's definitely serious.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
Bastion.
Ball Bastion, yes, that's absolutely what they'll run.
King's Row Classic.
King's Row Classic. Well, actually, is the
Oh.
Wrecking Ball... They might legit... oh, no. He was trolling us. He was trolling us. Double Cowboy. It's Double Cowboy on a brig. Double Cowboy. Reinzar on a brig. I feel like that's decently standard. I'm surprised there's no Lucio, but the McCurry Opticus told us that we were just debated, and I feel like we were. Lofty, by the way, is in. I forgot to mention that in off tank, Lofty is typically a support, so that's interesting to see. We're looking at a. Please don't tell me they're doing this. Please don't tell me they're doing this.
Yes,
oh my god, they're doing
this.
They're teleporting Bastion coming out on the side of Vote Meme today with Baptiste onto the statue.
Oh,
I know, but it is a double barrier. They're running the Sigma, which actually may actually be a decent idea. That Bastion builds enough space, and then if the Sigma is able to shield him, that might be really helpful. And look, they already have percentage on point, but Vati gets the keyframe. out here.
Offensive on the high ground also melted down. The McCree going to work, not daunted by anything that Votememe is throwing at them. Hyperion retaining control at the point, no ticks given so far.
Yeah, the biggest thing I saw there was that as soon as the Bastion got left by the Sigma up on that high ground, he just got melted by Vati. But interesting switches here. We're going into basically a double spam. We're going Hanzo, Junkrat. That Rhine Shield should not exist for long under this composition, especially with the Storm Arrow and Junkrat spam in general. And on top of the extra poke, they're running a little bit more poke, whereas Hyperion is running a lot more brawly. And I do think poke, if they play this right, could out damage Brawl, but we'll have to see.
Well, they walk through the hotel, looking to make a play onto the Hyperion backline, but Stuff is there with a nano boost and the Earth Shatter in tow, sweeping through, leaving away with that hammer. Votememe then packing back to spawn with 1 kill to their name, but it's a little tiny bit of good news in an otherwise dreary King's Row.
Yeah, and also that was on top of Plasma slept the Reinhardt. That's why Warren was able to get a Plasma got a massive sleep off, and that's how Stuff and Things got a massive shatter off there. But interesting pick off. McCree's gonna be a little late to this fight, but they're gonna have all 6 here for this next engagement. Nano comes out, and offensive action picks off Oakley up on the high ground.
That was a nice concussion, displaced the back line of Hyperion. There's another shatter, this time from Warren. Had another boost off the road, but Vati countering it with the great Deadeye picking out Wolfpack. VMT is taking up position on the point, but Hyperion happy to brawl it out. The Graviton Surge not phasing them in the slightest. Sorry, it was their Graviton Surge. Of course it didn't phase them in the slightest. And VMT, again, they had the numbers, but they couldn't make it work.
Yeah, if one of the DPS goes down, the other DPS kind of picks up the slack, I feel. And also, nice rally coming out from Lissa just to save. I think it was either the Honor or the Zarya that we got solar shattered in the corner, and the rally was able to save them and keep the fight alive for Hyperion. Hyperion has just been playing this beautifully with the disengages away from ultimates. Out comes the Flux.
Picks up 3 or 4 players. They're slammed down to the ground. Vati and Oakley finished off Quick Smart. No damage available. Great block by Warren Peace. Stuff and Things not having that Earth Shatter for free. And Riptide's coming out. Deja Vu looking to clean things up. Vote meme today. Finally, they're making some progress on the point.
Yeah, really good use of ultimates there. The Flux picked up a lot, and then the Tire just finishes them all off. Also, really nice block there by Warren, just completely shut down that Shatter by Stuff and Things, and then the Lamp just to back him up and allow him to swing basically free. But that was a lot of ultimates invested. They only have the Dragon and the Window here. Out comes the Window early here, but the Fire Strike picks up Urash early.
That was through the opposing team's window. That's not supposed to happen. Stuff following up. The Dragons, though, sweeping through, trying to level the odds and offensive, picking up the opposing Reinhardt. Is going to do just that. Follows up on the Vati. It looks like the Hanzo pick. Where have you been this entire match? Offensive. Living up to their name, making so much space for VMT to push this cart forward. That's a
and nice pick off by offensive there on the lofty as well. Nice Dragons as well. Even though they were down, he used the Dragons to able to section off the Reinhardt and Brig, I believe. And that just allowed VMT to run them over and for them to win the fight. And that was a really economical fight win as well. They only won it off of that Dragon Strike while the other team invested the bomb. So, but Oakland's gonna go onto the Pharah here. That's an interesting pick. Both players come out!
Better. He gets left in the middle of it, but he's able to swing the hammer though. Vati takes advantage of the fact that the Reinhardt wasn't shielding. Swinging away, removes offensive. That's the big playmaker. Lofty! The Graviton Surge eaten by Keyframe. The Tire from Deja Vu following up, picking up 2. The cart is nowhere near where the teams are fighting right now. We see Wolfpack has been doing a thankless task, pushing it forward, but in the end it's going to grant VMT the second point captured. 3 minutes remaining on the clock.
Beautiful. First off, beautiful eat there came out from Keyframe. Really saved that fight from going bad. But at the same time, they were playing so aggressive. I think the cart might have gotten really close to capping anyways. But and also really good tires coming after Deja Vu. But Oakley will finish. Deja Vu will be a trade, so it's gonna be a 5v5 here.
Back. Yep, the Gravitic Flux comes out and counters the Earth Shatter. Warren got lucky there, laid down, but no one was able to pick him up. A nice fire grenade onto Stuff's going to see the Reinhardt fall in the fight. Vote Meme today is pushing forward all the way up to the end of the point. They got a few players trapped off to the left from the attacker's perspective. Fire grenade from Plasma, keeping them in the fight. Oakley over the top, the barrage coming online, but only getting Wolfpack. Vati follows up onto offensive, so even trades for both sides. Amplification Matrix on the point. Warren swinging the hammer, doesn't need to bother shielding right now. It's just the 2 players left for Hyperion. VMT, this is the team I wanted to see from the start of the match. They complete King's Row with almost 2 minutes in their time bank.
That was beautiful coming out from VMT. They played the space game perfectly. They used ultimates. They actually got maximum value of their ultimates, which they had not been happening much the entire series. Deja Vu and Offensive also picked up their games. Oh my god, he got an off-screen 3K with the Dragons, by the way. But really nice play. The Hanzo has definitely been paying off, able to melt through much of the DPS. Also, interesting decision by Oakley. To switch onto that Pharah. I don't know if that got the maximum amount of... I don't know if that got a lot of value, in all honesty. But really nice decision to go to this poke style, because poke style, in theory, should out-damage a Brawl comp, especially if they maintain range. And I feel like... Also, another thing, War and Peace has been playing really smartly with this Reinhardt. He will go aggressive, but only when he thinks he is in a winnable situation. And I just think that was a beautiful look from VMT. We'll have to see how they hold up on this defense, but that was really nicely played by VMT, and they can hold their heads high after that offense.
Well, Hyperion, they've gone from top dogs to maybe feeling a little queasy. They perhaps weren't expecting VMT to come out of halftime with this kind of momentum, but the changes they've made are working out. Hoping it continues to work out for them, and we see this match go the whole way.
Indeed. We're going to see Ashe Junkrat on the other side, so Hanzo will have more shield break, while Ashe does have more pick potential. Never mind! Offensive kills the Ashe! They will get the res off, so it's not all down, but that's just got to be a little bit worrying if your Ashe dies straight away from a Hanzo. And meanwhile, but Vati gets Deja Vu on the Junkrat.
I was worried that Vati was finally forced to swap off the McCree, but they're just doing it to teach Deja Vu exactly how to play Junkrat. They've seen there may be a couple of improvements that Deja Vu can have to attain perfection, but with the trades going back and forward, Lofty going forward has their friendly bubble to keep themselves in the fight, and Keyframe got to be a bit careful playing around the statue. Hyperion following up onto the Sigma. Oh no, the Dynamite plus the headshot finishing Keyframe off. We'll see Hyperion moving on to the point and lose Deja Vu yet again. I've seen that before. VMT collapsing under the strain. The Dragons from offensive trying to save something, anything for VMT, but in the end, Hanzo melted down. Hyperion taking point A in a minute and a half.
Yeah, I feel like Keyframe kind of cost VMT there because he was playing so aggressive. He was playing on top of statue basically, and then fell into a Junkrat trap. Was not able to get back to his team in time. I feel like that spacing issues really opened them up, and it really cost him out in the end. Interesting Dragons as well. That was real. I feel like that was a little too late from Offensive. That was a little bit of overambitious. Offensive does make up for it by picking up Oakley, but a 5-minute shift comes out.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't worried. That was stuff. Dearie me, Lofty and Vardy take advantage of that. And the Graviton Surge follow up. Warren's Ono Shadow is good. It prepares them all for Keyframe's Gravitic Flux. Vardy answers back with 2 kills from the Riptire. All to plenty. They're getting all the kills here, but in the end, Hyperion just edging it out. The cart continuing to push forward.
A lot of kills going both ways, but I feel like Hyperion were able to get a lot more kills off of their ultimates a lot quicker. Really good, that really nice counter shouter that came out from Warren. However, it was shut down by Vati's tire there. Yeah, Vati's tire. And here we go. We're gonna re-engage here. Deja Vu is 6 away from the tire. Met Res is gonna have to be used again on Oakley.
No,
the kick gets killed. No, Deja Vu does go down.
They sacrifice themselves to take out the Mercy.
Yeah.
And Pop's sitting on the car, getting pulled forward by it. They've still got the full 6 there, do Hyperion on the cut. It hits the point. VMT engaged just a little too late, and now they're on the back foot. They're going to have to retreat and give Hyperion space inside the third point.
Yeah, Deja Vu, not Deja Vu, that Bob was able to build so enough space. Out come the Dragons. I think they're going to try to re-engage. But out comes Deja Vu with the tire. Without Lamb, yep, that's going to find Plasma.
It got burnt down, so perhaps it came out a little too early. VMT looking to push their advantage now. Another res from Liz. This Mercy knows no fear. Getting stuffed back into the fight. Now Graviton Surge invested to keep VMT locked into place. They've got their own amplification matrix. Stuff with the Earthshatter. Warren dropped his shield just at the wrong moments. The Reinhardt going to follow up. Gets taken down for the efforts. VMT still holding on strong. Hyperion throwing everything at them, but the defense is so solid.
Yeah, really like shut down by VMT. Oh no, but Keyframe's gone a little bit too... Okay. I thought he was going to get picked again. But VMT, really nice use the ultimates just to counteract what was coming out of Hyperion, especially with that grab. They were able to put a defense matrix, not defense matrix, amplification matrix. And speaking of amplification matrix, it comes out. It doesn't look like it's going to get much value, but we'll have to see still. Both lamps are down. Out comes the Bob, and he's in the backline.
They've been built up like a monster. Bob gets bonated and slept, so not putting much impact. The cart's going to bring him along in case he decides to wake up and join the fight again. Offensive taking down Oakley. Gets taken down in turn as the Ash brought back into the fight. Nano Boost invested on Daresh. I wonder if that was intentional, perhaps a life-saving Nano Boost, but it doesn't help anyone else. VMT falling like flies. Oakley plugging away, picks up 3 quick kills. Hyperion looking to close out the map with a significant time bank advantage. See if there's any last minute reinforcements. No, offensive can't touch the point. Hyperion, they've got about a minute 20 more than VMT have in the bank.
Yeah, Keyframe and offensive, both of their ultimates got cancelled or got no value. The Flux just kind of went off, and offensive was in mid-grav where it got shut down by the Zarya of Lofty. So that does feel bad for VMT because they were able to sustain for so long through all those ultimates, but in the end, Hyperion's neutral fight capability and Oakley just popping off. Even though Vati has kind of been the start of the show so far on Hyperion, it really looks like Oakley picked it up right there. We're just able to get a quad kill just to seal that map, and Hyperion does feel really, really strong, though I feel like if VMT manages to cap point, there might be a chance, honestly, here for VMT to possibly even win this thing or get at least a draw.
A draw would still keep them in the competition. The only map result they couldn't stomach right now is a loss, so they're well placed, and given that they've won it in extra time a couple of times now, they'll know what it's like to have a long, drawn-out King's Row. And Hyperion, I'm not sure they've been tested quite this much, so really a battle of the mental games right now, and Hyperion looking to change things up. Oakley now picking up the Pharaoh Mantle.
Yeah, Pharmacy can work on this first point. It's not as good on the third point of King's Row, but it can work here just because of a little bit of space. But they are running double hits. No, they're not running double hits again. They're running a Bastion again.
Yeah,
Bastion.
Yeah, that dynamite is absolutely spectacular. They know exactly where the teleport was going to go. Offensive manages to burn down Vati, but the Ash being brought back into the fight. VMT still in this, another teleport. This time it might just be a little bit of a bait. No, they do eventually go through. They'll leave a couple on the low ground. Voron on the high ground, not able to escape the fire strike. We'll see VMT now. A couple of players down, very split up.
Yeah, really good play. First off, really nice dynamite that came out there from Vati right when they teleported in. Takes out the Baptiste immediately, but really bad TP that came out there from Deja Vu. It left the Bastion behind, and that's the main damage output in this comp. And now it looks like Keyframe might get staggered here. He's by himself on the high ground behind the enemy team. I hope he can get out, but I think he's just trapped right now. Like, there's no way for him to get out, I don't think, safely. But wait, he's getting up behind Vati! He picks up Vati! He kills Vati! They killed Mercy! They're they're down on support because of that flank from Keyframe, and it looks like they're gonna be able to cap this.
Hyperion was not expecting that kind of bold action out with the Sigma. They thought, nah, that's fine. He's trapped up there. When he pops out, we'll take care of him. But, oh, Vati, you weren't paying enough attention to the big floating man. And you know what? He doesn't make any footsteps. It's understandable that he can sneak up on you.
Yeah, but now this is... Oh, no. Wait, they had a little bit... They had a few seconds. But now it's in overtime, but Ultimate comes out. It looks like the Life Orb comes out, War and Peace is down, Barrage comes out.
Yeah, Oakley's Barrage over the top doing so much damage. The Nano Boost invested just to keep Keyframe alive, but Bob is there to clean things up. A couple of players of VMT left. They have to touch the cart though. Overtime is going to burn down with 8 meters gained. The spawn is right there, but it's not close enough. Hyperion almost coming up with the full hold, but VMT, they've put themselves in an opportunity. They can full hold and win the map.
Yeah, if they full hold, this is a win, but I feel like if they lose point, it's over, just because of how close that is. The 8...
I'd have to effectively look how
close the cart is right at the doorway, basically.
The cart comes out of the door and gives you some progress. I wonder if that moved at all, because if not, there's a chance we could draw it with the cart out of the door.
I think it moved... yeah, I don't think so. I think it moved out a little bit. If you notice, It's not perfectly aligned. Yeah, because if you notice, it's not perfectly straight. If it was not on its path, it would have been straight out of the doorway. Because, anyways, so we'll have to see though. It's the first tack to see is it. Oh my! But that is so weird to look at. But I've never actually seen the cart be held that close to the starting point, and it's just the secondary glowing box inside the control point. Anyways, it looks like we'll be running the Kree Hanzo. I think they're going to try and blend what they're more comfortable on, I think. And it looks really good here. We'll have to see. They're running a Poke comp again against the Brawl. Vati's on the Junkrat again, and he was popping off on that Junkrat. So we'll have to see. It's going to be close, but Hyperion's, not Hyperion, VMT's match hopes relies on this full hold.
And neither team so far has managed a 2-minute defense on point A, let alone 3 minutes. So something magical will have to be coming from Vote Meme today. They'll be using the full meme power. Stuff going down early is a good sign for the defending team, but they've got to be careful they're not outflanked. We see Oakley plugging away on the statue away from the rest of their team. They pick up 1 kill, but in the end the defense holding strong for the moment. Offensive finishing up with a nice double.
Yeah, hopefully I don't know if the McCree will get back in time to re-engage. It'll be tight. It'll be really close. He might get there, but really nice play there. They invested the lamp, but that's perfectly fine. Oakley, they just cannot afford to let Oakley get a flank angle and get these pickoffs. That might just seal VMT's doom here. They're going to go through Hotel. Oakley's flanking again, but the Sigma notices that he is there.
Warren going
oh
low,
no! The Honors in the backline gets traced away from Lofty.
Oh no! Plasma able to get away with their life. Fire grenade wears off. Earthshatter down. It hits one, but a nice bubble coming out from Lofty, keeping stuff in the fight. Amplification matrix out, but no one is there willing to get shot by Lofty, and Oakley pick up a couple. Lofty with 2 of her own, melting through the backline of VMT. This is what Hyperion was looking for. The Dragons come through, but no one is there to be stuck by it. The point being captured by Hyperion. VMT, they've got one last-ditch attempt. They have to hold at the door.
Indeed, they have to hold the door. 1 minute 30. That will go up to 2 seconds. Junkrat
they're not going to allow them. They're going to try and contest the point. I mean, you got to burn off as much time as you can, but you're just throwing your lives into the grinder.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I prefer if they had waited till they had full 6 and then engage, because now this is basically a guarantee. I think this is it. This is game match GG. And it looks like Hyperion will win this thing 3-0.
Wow, Hyperion so dominant in this tournament. They're showing no signs of slowing down. And now that they've beaten the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place teams, can anyone stop them?
It's gonna be they're gonna be really hard pressed to stop them, to be honest with you. Here comes that sleep shatter, yeah. Oh. And Warren just was a sitting duck, and beautiful play. I just feel Hyperion were also able to play that a lot more coordinated. There was a couple of times where the off tank, especially where someone would go off on an off angle on the side of VMT and leave the rest of the team exposed to a full man 6-man rush coming out from Hyperion. And I just feel in the end, Hyperion were just a lot more consistent and a lot more strong there. Yeah.
But a nice showing from VMT on Kings Row. There was, I mean, 5-4 is a fantastic scoreline. It's not as nice as it was, but it shows that they can take the fight. And it was those changes, bringing in Warren on the Reinhardt, which really turned things around for them. So perhaps going forward in the tournament, they might see a little variation from them. They may not want to run that Winston Zarya if they find they're getting if you find you're getting more value on the Ryan Zarya, why not go for it? It's working for
Yeah.
Hyperion. It can work for you too.
Yeah, and also they look like they were able to adapt. If a double bubble is really problematic for them, they can just go to the Roadhog, the Optics Roadhog, and he looked really good on the Hog for the first two maps of the series. I think they put Lofty in because I believe she is a little bit better Zarya. I'm not 100% sure on that, but maybe she's a little bit more confident on that Zarya, but she did look really good on it. But also really, really good play coming out from Hyperion. Again, VMT they put a lot of effort into Kings Row, but I feel like in the end it was a little too late. It was a little bit too little too late. I guess that's the better expression.
But hey, look, stuff to work on for Vote Meme. You can always improve things. You've got some video now. Your coaches have watched you, and we'll be going to a break very shortly. We'll be interviewing a player from Hyperion afterwards, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back, and what a match it was. Hyperion taking the series 3-0. The vote meme today put up a great fight on King's Row, and by popular demand, we brought on one of the stars of Hyperion for an interview. Vati, welcome and congratulations on the win today. Coming into it, your team had been very dominant in the tournament so far. Is that like how much confidence does that give? Do you think that do you think Vote Meme would have given you the challenge they did today, particularly on Kings Row?
For sure. I going in. To be honest, I was a little nervous. I was interested to see what fight they would put up. I knew they were a good team, and they definitely put up a great fight. But I knew that my team was prepared, and working together, we were able to take down Vote Meme.
Yeah, and considering how dominant you were on the first two maps of the series, how was the team atmosphere going into Kings Row? And was it kind of surprising to see that VMT actually still had some life in them?
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. We did our best not to get too overconfident for that third map, but they threw some stuff we didn't expect. The Bastion and the Hanzo, we didn't expect that, and I think that they kind of took us by surprise there. Luckily, we were able to kind of get our feet under us.
Indeed, it definitely looked like that.
And you're an absolute monster on McCree. Was it a decision to change it up for Kings Row based on what the opponent was throwing at you, or you just wanted a little bit of a change?
Yeah, their Hanzo. Shout out to their Hanzo. He was. I think he was really countering me.
Believe. Yeah.
Yeah, he was really countering me hard, and I just felt like I needed to make a switch to something. We also decided as a team we needed a bit more shield break to go up against their double shield. They were alternating shields really nicely, so we just needed a bit more spam damage to throw at them.
And also, yeah, about because your Junkrat play was really, really good, able to shut down and do a lot of wheel break. And was that Junkrat pick? I know you mentioned it for shield break, but was there a tiny bit of you that was picking it because of Deja Vu's Junkrat on the other side, just to try to 1v1 them?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah,
So-
yeah. Definitely a good Junkrat player on the other team as well. We needed a bit of a showdown.
Indeed.
So looking ahead in the tournament, your team has a pretty much unassailable lead on top of the table. Do you think you'll be taking it a bit easier in the future matches, trying out new things, or did you want to clean sweep the whole thing?
Well, we're definitely going for the perfect season, of course. I think this is our 6th game that we 3-0'd, so we're definitely excited to keep that streak going. And looking forward, we're definitely going to bring our A game. We're not going to let up, but you might see some funky things from us in the future.
That's something you can always afford when you're the #1 team undefeated on top. So
that's right.
Yep. I think that's all I have. So
yeah, any shout outs? Any shout outs you want to give out?
I invited a bunch of people, specifically shout out to All New Luke for watching. I know he's in the chat somewhere. Thanks for the support, my guy. And thanks to my team, of course, my healers, Oakley, my other DPS player, and my tanks for keeping me alive, you know? They did a great job.
Well, without them, you wouldn't have as much room to flourish. Thank you so much, Vati, for joining us here in the interview and putting on a great show across the entire map. And congratulations once again to Hyperion taking it out, keeping their unbeaten, undefeated map run. Not only match run, but no maps dropped so far in the season. That's 18 straight. I don't think we've seen such a dominant team in Owlet for a while, Florida.
Yeah, indeed. Hyperion has been looking extremely dominant, and it's gonna be interesting to see if they can go through with this perfect season. But so far, they look extremely. They look really. It's gonna be. It looks really possible, extremely possible, with
Very
how well they've been playing.
Shockish.
Yes, really San Francisco shockish.
Well, that will do it from us. Don't miss out on anything else that Owlet has to offer you. Follow the socials to find out all the information on when and where we stream. We stream most days of the week, and you can find us on Owlet Tournament on the various channels or join the Discord. On behalf of myself, Florida, and Silent on production, thank you everyone who joined. Good night.